Hello viewers, and welcome to another great day, another great motivational day, expensive day, because we are going to do a lot of expensive stuff. I'm talking about. We are going to do some crazy stuff today. And what are we going to do actually today? We're going to learn how to crack the serial key using breakpoints on strings. So the software I introduced you to in our previous tutorial, which was the GUI, the graphical user interface based program, that is what we are going to crack today. And I hope this is what you've been waiting for, because most of you don't get familiar with command line interface program. Mostly people interact with the graphical aspect of a software or a program. So today we are going to learn how to crack the serial key using BP on strings, or the breakpoints on strings, in this lesson. So without wasting my time, let's get into the video for the day. So we're back into our Windows 7 operating system, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to crack the serial of this application, and I'm going to leave the application in the YouTube description below. So first we open our software cracking tools folder. Have a whole lot of things running on the system because I'm a Mac OS and I'm trying to run a virtual box onto the system. So it will be quite a bit slow, but don't worry, we're going to work with it. So this is the application. What I'm doing is to drag this application to our SDBG64 and open it. Should wait for a bit while. Let's wait for a bit for it to get loaded. As I told you, the machine is a bit slow today because I'm running a whole lot of stuff on the system, but we will get to wherever we want to do today. So perfect, the program has already started, and the previous I show you how to use the DIE to detect those kind of application, the graphical user interface, so you have familiar evidence about that. So what we're going to do is today, the application we load, and we're going to crack it. Simple as that. So first, when you load any application, as I told you, it goes to the operating system memory, and that is not what we want. We need to move to the user code place, or the application itself, because the main important is to crack the application, not the operating system. So the first thing is to run using the shortcut. Run to the entry point of the application. Perfect, we are in the entry point of this application. The next thing we need to do is to move again so that we could see the application being started. As you can see here, the application is running, and what it wants us to enter is the serial key. Now this is what happens when I enter a serial key. Try to enter any kind of key, and when we check it, it prints out a string which says what? Wrong serial key, try again. Well, this is what mostly you people face anytime you enter an incorrect key when you are running an application. So based on this, we are going to use this information to crack this application. It's as simple as that, because this is giving us a bad message, and that's not what we want. We want a good message. Now when I come back to the lesson, okay, this is actually the steps in cracking a serial key. First, you search for string for a bad message, put breakpoint on the bad message, search for where serial key is being compared, put breakpoint on the comparison instruction, then extract the serial key. So these are the steps you need to follow anytime you want to crack a serial key of an application or a software. So let's go back to our Windows 7. Let me show you something. So now we're here, and we don't need to see this message, this is not what we want. We want a good message so that we'll be able to crack our application. So click on OK. We don't need this. Now what we need to do is that message which was printed wrong, we need to search it, add the comment on the string section, and try to place a breakpoint on that message so that anytime the program runs, we don't want it to display that wrong message, but try again. We don't need that one. We want a good one which will say, well done, congratulations, you've able to enter a good serial key. That is what we want. We don't want any bad message to be printed on the screen. So first thing is to right click here. Okay, I told you the machine is very slow because it's using a whole lot of memory. Then we search for our current model, then string preference. So that is where we find all our strings. I showed you this in, I think, fourth lesson. Yeah, I think the fourth lesson, how to search for strings in SDBG when you are cracking application. So we wait for a while for this to run. Let's see what happens next. The machine is quite a bit slow because it's using a whole lot of memory running processes. So pardon me. So now, when we look at these strings here, you could see. Let me try to zoom this for you to get what I mean. Perfect. So when you come here, you see we have about, these are all the strings in the application, and this is where the wrong serial key is. So when you come here, you could see it's on this address. So all you need to do is to double click the address and it will send us to the application itself. So let's double click. Let's see, perfect. It brought us to what? The address, which is the RAM address of the application. And you could see it has some functions, push. I will explain this thing to you in our upcoming video. So this is what we want. We don't want to display on the screen for us when we check or when we enter the serial key. The message that prints out, that's not what we want, which is this one. So that is what in the tutorial, as I said, we need to put a breakpoint so that this will not be display. So now when we move this upwards, you see it first print the sorry before it prints out the wrong serial key. So let's keep moving. And now this is the core function that calls before it comes and prints this message for us. But when you come up here, you will see what happens. There's a jump here. Okay, I've explained jumps to you, so by now you should know what is called jumps. When you click here, you can see there's a jump that moves this from here to here. Okay, which means when you move, it doesn't print this message which is congrats, well done, because they want you to enter the correct key, but rather when you hit, it jumps to what? The sorry or wrong key. That is when we entered this key, which I know is not the correct key. They just jump it and print out what? Our wrong serial key for us. Okay, so this is not what we want. We want what? Congrats, well done. So how do we crack a program like this? We can put a breakpoint here, and let's see what happens. When we put a breakpoint here, by double clicking, because this needs to change into red, let's try to put a breakpoint here. Or let's say here, rather. Perfect. I'll put a breakpoint here. Let's see what happens when you put the breakpoint. I think it's not giving us option to put a breakpoint there. So let's go down here and see another message box right here. Okay, so but when you click here, you know that this jumps to this place, so we can just put a breakpoint on before or where it's supposed to print this, so that when it comes, when you run the program, it doesn't get to all this session, okay, where it starts from. So let me try to double click and put a breakpoint, but let me zoom out first and let's see what happens. So here, okay. I don't know why this is supposed to. Machine is quite slow today. I don't know the problem is. So let me quit the program and let's restart. Let's start the program again. The machine is slow today. Forgive me about that, but it will still work. Perfect. I started perfectly. Let's run to our user code. At the entry point, let's run the program. And the program has started. Now we want to crack this application serial key. So before we get to where it prints the good and bad message, we need to set a breakpoint at the part of the code which we don't want to see on the screen. We want only good messages, okay? So when it comes down, I'm just looking at a point where I can put a breakpoint so that we will not display what's the bad message, okay? But rather we want just the good message. So we stay down, but I still can't find. So as I told you, all you need to do is to right click, search for parent module, then search for the string reference. Just hold a while for it to get populated. You can see it started loading. So sorry for that, because the machine is quite slow, but we'll still get there, because in the next tutorial I'll try to stop some applications which is running behind background to get some smooth environment to work with. So just be patient and just follow the steps. It's all about being slow today. So perfect. What we want in this place, okay, it is always printing out our wrong key for us. Then let's go there. Perfect, we are here, so we move. Okay, move upward. You see other messages that have been populated. So you could see here is printing wrong, sorry, here is printing congrats, well done. Okay. So to crack the software, as I told you, you don't want to see, you just want to see a message like this, not this. So we just need to put a breakpoint in somewhere between here, so that you rather get this message rather than it being jumped from here to the wrong key, because there's a jump function here which we don't want it to happen. We just want it to put a breakpoint around this place, so that when the application gets there or the user enter the correct key, just print out of congrats or well done. So but before that, we just need to put a breakpoint somewhere in the code, so that we'll be able to extract the key to be able to enter, because the key is the main important thing for us, not even these ones. We just need to extract the key, and if we get the key, we're able to get that congratulations message. So when we move upwards, as we could see us moving upwards, there is something here. Now here is trying to call out a message box which prints out the congrats, as you could see there. Like when anytime I enter a key here, you see congrats, sorry, wrong key. This is not what we want, okay, because this call function pretty time back. But look here, in the code. There's a core. Let me try to zoom in so you get familiar things with it. When we come to the core function right here, you could see there is what a dialog box. Okay, and this is where the magics happen. This dialog box test is this one. So this is where magic is going to happen. So we could find out that there is the serial key right behind all this function, which is hidden. So this is where we need to start to extract the key, so that after it passes through all these processes, it prints out well done, or it jumps to this place. Let me come down. It jumps to this place and print on sorry, wrong key. Okay, so the best thing is to put a breakpoint somewhere here. You need to put a breakpoint here on the dialog box. Let's try to put a breakpoint here. Okay, then let's run the code. When you run the code, now let's type in a number here and let's check. So when we check, it still prints out a wrong serial key for us. So when we come here, we just need to put the breakpoint. Double clicking, but my mouse is getting a bit stubborn today. I don't know what is happening. Okay, perfect. We've already put the breakpoint here. Yeah, we'll be able to establish the breakpoint. So let me click OK and let's try to run to where the breakpoint is. When you run the program, what happens? We've already set the breakpoint. We run the program, nothing happens. So all we need to do is to close the program, or let's restart the program and move to that breakpoint again anytime we enter a key. So wait for a while for the program to start. Now the program starts. We move towards the entry point of the program. Perfect. We move again, and now this has already started. So we enter a key and try to hit check. But when we hit check, what happened is it sent us to where what the breakpoint was set. Let's see something. Check. Perfect. So now you see it moves us to the breakpoint of the program. So this is where the magic happens. Now we are at the breakpoint, and what you need to do is to move step over down. Okay. Step down by pressing F8. Now it moves one. Now we're still comparing, because move from the breakpoint. Now since we put the breakpoint to get the dialog box, now it's trying to move through all this code one by one. Okay. You can see there is a message also here. So let's keep moving. Now you can see there is something happening here. Now what is happening here is these functions here with this registry. As you could see here, ECX, EAX, like these places, it's trying to do some comparison of this key we entered here and what is happening here, to find out whether what we entered is correct or wrong before it brings out either it's a wrong serial or it's not a wrong serial. Okay, so we keep moving, just keep stepping over, and now Now look at what is happening. Now you could see these two, as I told you, the EAX and ECS is trying to compare each other. So when it gets here, you see there will be a comparison, the CMP means comparison, to see which of these two keys in the registry of the program is correct. Okay, so now you see what we entered here, which is AGEF. You can find it here. Okay, now you can see there's another ECS with this one, tracking lessons. Okay, so let's keep moving. Step over. Keep moving, stepping over. Now you see it's still doing the comparison because it's compared that is this correct or it's not correct. So let's keep stepping over. So now you see when it reaches here, it needs to do the jump, and it's still, the key is not yet cracked. But look here, this is there, this is there. The EAX, ECX, this is where it's doing what? All the comparison with this byte and this byte. Now we could find out that looking at these two, okay, with these two, we could find out that this should be the serial key of the software, because it has compared this and is suggesting that this as compared to this, when we enter this, if it was to be the same thing we entered, it should represent like the two should be the same, but here it's moving as a different entity altogether. So since we entered this which was not correct, it compared that this should be the correct serial key. So when we click on this, you can see here the 64A byte is being shown here. So on this hot address, this 041422223A as the computer or the binary code. Okay, so all we need to do is to copy this. Okay, we need to copy this line from here. So let me zoom out so you see what is happening here. The program is paused because we're able to compare. You see, it's always getting so nice right here, trying to compare all the serial keys, as you can see. So you see, when we are moving downwards, every hidden information within these functions we are trying to shown in our strings or in the comment area. So you see, we have a whole lot of things happening here. We have the what we entered, some also using some other functions here, or some registry here. EAX, the same thing here happening with different, the same cracking lesson as represent here. And so EAX here, EAX, the same key we entered, which is not going. So what we need to do is to copy this, which was this registry, which is ECS, which was being compared here. Okay, from the call of the dialog box ECX and EAS, these were the two things we were trying to compare each together. And after moving downwards, we started to see the EAS himself, which was what we entered here, and the ECS, which is was populated from what the software itself, which means this was the hidden key which was hidden in the application, which needs to be entered before we're able to get that message box, okay, being called here throughout all these functions, so that we get whether when we enter this is correct or it's not correct. So let's see what happens. I'm going to copy this. Just right click on this and copy a line. Okay, and now try to paste it in your test pad or notebook or any other application. So it could be here, so we just paste here. So after pasting, all you need to do is to copy this, because this is what is the serial key of the application, because we just be able to extract that key using breakpoints. Okay, So all I'm going to do is now, let me close this. Don't save. If I've already copied, I don't need that one again. So now look at what happened. Machine is still running slow. Let's restart the program. The program is being initialized. We move to the user code itself. Yeah, the entry point. Now move again. Perfect. Now when we enter the key, in the key, let's see what happens. Let me check. The program is paused at where we set our breakpoint. But this, we are going to ignore this breakpoint by double clicking. You don't need the breakpoint again because we've already extracted the key. We put the breakpoint to be able to move through all this function to able to identify the serial key of the application. So we can just double check to remove all breakpoints. You can just go straight to breakpoint and click here and hit your delete key to delete it, or just right click and click on remove. So now there will be no breakpoint in the application, so it's gone. So all you need to click on check. And when we check, it's supposed to print out what a wrong text message. Why? Because we know this is not a correct key. So let's move forward and let's see what happens. Keep on moving forward. Now you see the key has been printed. Sorry, wrong serial key. Try again. You know, it took some time because I told you the machine is already slow itself because a whole lot of things are running behind background. So let's click on OK. We don't need this. You see, it has printed a whole lot because I put on more instructions. Okay, so let's close this. We don't need. So you see, now it's still hot. A wrong key, but remember we copy a key. I'm going to put in and see what it will be printed out. So come back to the debugger and let's restart the application again and let's see what happens this time around. Once the application is loaded into SDBG64, we move to the user code because we are in operating system. We need to move to the 004, which is the entry point starting from the program. Okay, now we need to move forward again so that it brings out our dialog box, and now we're going to paste what we copied, which is this from when we started to extract the key. When we click on check, see what happens. Congrats, well done. Now it's simple as that. We use the breakpoint to pause the program so that we move through all these functions. Okay, as you can see, we put up a breakpoint at one point of the program where it had that dialog box test, okay, which is a Windows function by the application, and we started to move from each function one by one by it being compared or to registry to find out what exactly is hidden in the registry of the application, and moving step by step using this F8, okay, or step over. We move each one by one by one, and we're able to extract the key. And I copied it, put up a fake serial key. It prints out a sorry wrong text, and now when we had the key, we insert it here. It prints out a congrats, well done. So that is the process using breakpoint to crack a graphical user interface software. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for your time and hope to see you in the next lesson. But sorry for today's tutorial because there was a whole lot of lag and slowness. Because I told you a whole lot of things are running in the background of the computer itself. So I hope in next tutorial it's going to be smooth, because I need to clear some cache because I've been running a whole lot of applications on this machine. So see you in the next tutorial, and I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye.